Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Had to hit the opera on you knuckles. Now, the Clippers basically beat the Lakers, blew them out, which we all knew because, lebrownies and Cottonelle Davis wasn't there, nor Andre, the greatest ever Drummond, in the words of Ticket TV, and shout out to him. He may not watch my channel, but I give shout out and credit where credit's due. And shout out to Casino for Life. That was a funny live stream last night. I went to the movies and I fell asleep in the movie theater. I woke up, nobody was there. Nobody was there. I was in that bed like, what the hell's going on? It was cleared out. I was knocked out. That's how tired I was. And I was watching the movie. I saw Godzilla and Kong getting it back on for the second round. And next thing I know, I woke up an empty theater. I'm like, oh God, I fell asleep. I fell right to sleep and I probably was snoring. They probably looked at me like, nah, leave him there. He's good. But that just lets you know, if you're tired, don't go to no movies, dog. If you go to movies, you're just gonna be all messed up. Now, from my first look with Rondo out there, I mean, you really can't tell because they're really not going against a full strength Lakers team. But Rondo looked very good passing the ball, getting guys in position. And Rajon Rondo said after the game, the thing that surprises him is how well Kawhi Leonard passes the ball. And that Kawhi is willing to give up the ball in certain situations where he was playing with a guy before who just wanted the ball hog the ball and keep it for himself and make the offense stagnant. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win it all, but this is a good pickup for the Clippers, and the Clippers are going to, down the stretch, be good. Now, I think Paul George got hurt. I think he hurt his orbital bone in his face, so he's going to miss a lot of time. He might miss the playoffs, I'm hearing, but, you don't know. That could change that could change tomorrow. But if they lose Paul George, I don't think they'll be in trouble because the kid Terrence Mann has been outplaying Paul George and a lot of the guys on the team. That's why he's getting extra tick. This is a guy who was on the team last year who I was yelling to get more playing time, and he's getting it. Patrick Patterson is in there. He does his thing, hits a couple threes. Luke Kennard is going to be the X factor for the Clippers. If Luke Kennard could go off, okay, there we go. If Luke Kennard could go off like he's doing in spurts and hit the shots that need to be hit, they'll be a dangerous team. That's what I'm saying. This Clippers team is very dangerous, and they have a lot of depth. Kawhi Leonard, the one thing I want him to work on more is I want Kawhi to be a little more aggressive. That's the one thing that separates Kobe and Mike from Kawhi, is that they're more aggressive. They're more, I want to take over. Like my boy Germ said, shout out to my brother Cool Beans, a.k.a. Mr. Germ. Shout out to my brother Kraken, a.k.a. Kano. They've said a lot of times that Kawhi Leonard reminds them of Scottie Pippen. He's basically he's a mentally tougher Scottie Pippen. This is who Scottie Pippen would be if he had the balls. If he's not simping, he had balls, a.k.a. cojones, a.k.a. planners, then this would be him. And I'm starting to see it a little bit because Scottie was just as talented, but what messed him up was he's just like Paul George, mentally weak. But Kawhi plays very lax. He plays very calm. Now, he could get aggressive, but sometimes he might sit back a little bit. a little too much to a fault. But I think this is because it's the regular season. When the playoffs start, we'll actually see what he does. Also in news, Charles Barkley basically said in this piece, I didn't read it all, but I read key points in the piece, saying that the Democrats and Republicans are the reason we have division in America. And I'm like, duh. Of course they're trying to keep us divided, idiot. Like, I'm with Kevin Durant on this one on Charles Barkley. They still get his fool a microphone. They still giving you a microphone to talk. It's like, dude, they keep us divided because they don't want the people to know the truth. Is that everybody is being brainwashed and that we're in a systematic racial country. And what I mean by that is you have whites, they pamper to whites, they cater to the whites. Now, there may be times when they're aggressive to whites or they do them dirty or something, but they won't show that on TV that in those conditions, because they want your mind to be conditioned that white is great, they're perfect. All the other races, they're not. Or then they'll try to be like, oh, well, blacks and everything, oh, they're just complainers all the time, they're lazy. Now you got this Asian American movement or Asian movement, and it's like, dude, Asians, y'all been racial towards blacks since the beginning of time. You and Caucasians have been very racial profiling, and y'all have been terrible. And Mr. H Reviews, go subscribe to his channel. I'm a British guy, but he's wrong where I'm like, he's saying black people are racial. Black people cannot be racial. We did not put you in oppression. Okay, white people? Now, can we be prejudiced? Yeah, blacks can be prejudiced. But racial, no. Racial is from those who oppress you and who look down at you. And that's what white people have to understand. You guys are so blinded. Y'all don't even know the terms for what y'all talking about. Y'all talking about racial. Nobody being racial to you. You guys are very privileged and you're very stubborn. And you're very into your ways. You can't see from the other side how people are or how they're being treated. You guys don't see that other side, and it's not your fault. That's why I tell, in all my videos, I tell Caucasians and those who are the pink folk, it's not your fault. It's the people who were above you, your dad, your moms, your granddad, your great-great-grandparents. All of them have psychologically made you the way you are. That's why nowadays you got a lot more pink folks stepping up saying, you know what? I'm tired of this, and I'm tired of my privilege always being seen as a pass, but this brother over here worked just as hard as I do, if not more, and he's getting treated like crap, and they're starting to see it. But then you got people like this teacher on social media who forgot that the Zoom was on, and her dumb behind's gonna be racial towards the students. Talk about the black students. And this is what I'm saying. White people, if you don't like us, just say you don't like us because we're black. Just say it. They don't want to come out and say it because they don't want to look like that they are what we've been saying they are. The Indians said it best. You fork-tongued mother effers. And they're fork-tongued people. They'll say one thing and they'll do another. Now, Charles Barkley saying this, I'm like, Charles, what are you talking about? Dude, Charles was a hell of a basketball player. I love Charles. As a basketball player, he's in my top 20. But Charles Barkley at times makes me just like, dog, what the hell are you talking about? Like, it's like, dude, you've been hanging around these dudes for too long. Of course they're trying to keep us divided. They want us divided. That's how they make their money. That's why they keep white people in fear. That's why the news is made for those uppity white folks, those rich white folks, so they can stay in fear of black folks. So they can stay in fear. That's why they always report the bad in blacks. They never report the good. They never report the good. There's been plenty of blacks that have done something very positive, even if they're from the hood or not. All black people are not from the hood. And just because you're from the hood doesn't mean that you sell drugs. It's two different types, street dudes and hood dudes. They are two different type of people. You live in the hood, which is a place where you stay as a impoverished area. Doesn't mean you have to be the product of your environment. But a lot of these guys don't understand that, Charles. You got to understand, a lot of these guys don't understand that. They don't understand that it has to be something else. They don't understand that they have a choice. They're living in a system that doesn't want them, and they're living in a society where people who look like them are killing them every day. So I understand what you're saying, but you need to look at the deeper picture. And I feel what Melly Mel said. Why isn't Black Lives Matter talking about black on black crime? The only time these buffoons come around is when it's a cop killing a black or a black being messed with at work or something, but they never, by a white person, they never address the issue, which is black on black crime. Until we stop black on black crime, we're still going to be stuck. So Charles, stop eating your bonbons and eating your little cakes and all your donuts. Put that to the side and actually look into what's really going on. Because honestly, you have no freaking clue. Thank you all for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you like what you hear, donate to the page. You can cash at me at the word welcome, the number 2, and then HDIITV. Thank you for listening, and we're out. Deezy.